Hello and welcome once again to Rose Play at the Movies. As always, we're your hosts, Orion Moonrose and Saul Wildfire. So, this is an interesting review because we didn't see it in theaters. We went to go see the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So, I'm not really 100% sure how to do this review. We're going to kind of keep it the same, but change it up a little bit because a lot of you probably may not be interested so much in the movie, as most of you do know. You may just be more interested in the opinions and whatnot. So I have seen Jaws before this. I mean, it makes sense being a 40-year-old man that I will have seen Jaws. However, Saul over here had never seen Jaws, so a good experience to see in the theaters. So before we even get started with the story, talk about it, and even that's going to be a little different, since, you know, it's an older movie and you're not going to know a lot of the cast. Or a lot of them are dead now.
Yeah.
So let's start with what did you think about the movie, being 50 years old? Did you like it? Was it something that you felt like could have been done in today's age and still worked out as well, etc., etc.? Because I want to know your opinion for going to go see it.
Yeah, I definitely think that it was good for its time and that it would have been able to make it in this day and age as well. Obviously, better graphics and better stuff to enhance it and whatnot.
Well, see, and it's a funny thing you brought that up, and I know this should be more in the review part, but like I said, this is going to be kind of a weirder review. Even though they did say it was 4K enhanced and you could still tell it was an older movie. You can update the graphics to make it still look clearer and crisper, but still the filming technology and everything of its day, you can tell that I don't know if you can tell it's a 50-year-old movie. Most kids might look at it and be like, is it 100 years? But you can definitely tell that it's a product of an older time and no cell phones, anything like that. Okay, so you did like it. See, because I was interested if you were going to like it. I thought you might, because at least you do have taste in some of the older movies. And like I looked up just to double check, I am pretty sure that it's on the top list, 100 list for best movies. But I know it got high ratings in general. So there's that. But okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the story first. And I don't even need to look up Wikipedia for this. So basically the story is that there is a shark attack at the beginning of the movie. We'll get into this in a little bit too, but humans being idiots, sort of, because the shark really couldn't be the main villain in the movie, at least, again, as we talked about a little bit until the end. But so they wanted people to continue to swim. They tried shutting it down. Finally, there was enough shark attacks where they had to have somebody go hunt it. And then the second half of the movie is literally 3 guys on a boat, bonding, tracking, and a final confrontation with the creature who, like I said, and we'll talk about a little bit more in characters, he seems like he stepped his boundaries of being a shark at the end, and I think that was more for movie magic. Although you did state and mention, too, that they could at least say that because of the engine movements and them tracking it first, maybe it wanted to be the hunter and not the prey. So, honestly, I don't even know how long this review is going to be because it is such... okay, so here's the thing with the story. I do like the story altogether. The character building and story building, getting to the part of the ship is nice, but I feel like the story is extremely slow for the most part. And there's nothing wrong with a slow story, because you can still have a slow story and still have a great movie. But, with it being such an old movie, too, a lot of kids, or, somebody we know, doesn't like to watch older movies because... What is his reason? I don't even remember. Do you remember his reasoning? I don't know. Oh, okay. So graphics. Yeah, he doesn't like the quality and whatnot because he was asking about Godzilla, and there's a lot of old Godzilla movies. He's like, well, I don't want to watch those. They're probably boring too. Yeah, that's kind of my feeling just with that look, too, is that it's like, dude, some of the older movies are some of the better movies.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind watching some older movies as long as they can keep my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how well it would have kept my attention if I were to have watched it at home, though.
Right, because it is still an older movie. It would have kept your attention that first time, but then... so that's where I come in. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen the movie before. I've probably seen it a few times because, you know, we didn't have this Netflix and all that. So you just kind of caught whatever was on. I think it still caught my attention pretty well. It's just watching it the first half, and that's what I'm going with is the first half especially. It's just, I like the movie. I really do. I really, really do like the story. But the beginning, and I feel like, how long was the movie? I feel like it was like a 2-hour movie because I don't know. Let me see. I don't know if it was just me, but it felt like the movie just kept going. And yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes. That does track. I was going to say, because it did feel like that movie just wouldn't end. It just kept finding new ways to go on and on.
Right.
So I'm going to say that literally the first hour of the movie, maybe hour and 5, because the credits are like 2 minutes. The first half of the movie is literally the town dealing with a shark issue. And you're getting to know the characters. You're trying to get used to the people, like the parents of the kid who gets eaten. You feel bad for when she comes up. It's like, you knew, and slaps him.
Yeah.
But, like, I swear to God, the last hour of the movie is just a boat, the 3 main characters, and Jaws. Or Bruce. But you know what? That's also when the movie picks up. I honestly think once you get to the boat, the movie picks up and it never loses steam. You're invested, you're interested, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in sound too, but like the sound effects and stuff they use for the movie just is so much more tight, I guess. So yeah, watching it again in theaters, it wasn't bad. I mean, I haven't seen it in like years.
Yeah.
But I think it would still catch your interest. I just think because you had seen it, I feel like the first half would have just been more boring. Because you already know about the characters. You know, you're just like, oh yeah, I remember this character, etc., etc. I don't need to learn about them. I'll just get on the boat. So, yeah, so story-wise, there's not a whole lot to the story, because the second half is literally just them hunting the Bruce.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Bruce, because I'm going to humanize him. And we'll get into that with characters, but I'm going to humanize Bruce. So, I know you said that you liked the movie, it held your interest. What did you think about the story, then? You know, the shark and the people and all that, of what they were doing. What was your thoughts on the story as a whole?
Well, see, I have a whole different opinion on how I see things when it comes to them hunting down a shark, because, like, I feel like, you know, that should be their territory, not ours. That's where, like, a lot of people would say otherwise. You know, people like to go boating and fishing and all this stuff, but I don't like any of that. So, it's kind of like, I kind of wish the shark would have won, like in general.
I mean, I sort of get that, but okay. So even though it does get into character, like I do get your opinion on this. They wanted to kill the poor shark, and all he was doing was being a natural predator. It's not our fault we were in their territory. Like they did catch a shark. I think they blew him up, honestly.
Yeah, they blew him up and they killed another baby one or something. Like
yeah,
a smaller one.
And I think they blew him up too with TNT.
I don't know. I know they cut him open.
Yeah, they cut him open, but
dissected him.
That was to see if it was the shark that had...
Yeah.
Like, okay, so here's my thing. I get wanting to take care of the shark, but there's more humane ways to take care of it. Maybe it's a product of its times. Maybe in the 70s, that's how they weren't, like, trying to airlift it out and back into the ocean or something. But I do sort of agree with you up to an extent that I felt bad for the shark through the story, and that's why I said I think the first half, the main villain is definitely the mayor.
Yeah, he's trying to get them all to go in there and everything, knowing that there was a possible shark in there.
Now, as for hoping that the shark won, I mean, I can't disagree with you. It would have been a good twist on a movie that back, because usually back then, you know, the bad guys did win sometimes. But a lot of times the good guys ended up winning. So when you see a bad guy win, like in some of the horror movies nowadays, you're like, oh, shock, but it doesn't bother you as much as that would. I don't know if I would have liked to seen the shark win. I feel like I wouldn't have minded winning against the town. Like, hey, just let me do what I want to do and then I'll leave. But you do get invested in that second half of the story. You get very invested in the characters.
Yeah, no, I did like the characters themselves. I just didn't like the idea of them hunting it down.
Right.
I don't like the idea of
I mean, you know me, I don't like anything to die. I would rather save and protect everything. But I guess that's more that we talk about in the characters here in a second, even though we're kind of just all over the place with this review.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, it's because there's not a whole lot to talk about with the story, because a lot of the story is relegated to the sheriff. And then you sort of get kind of background character for the other two until they get to the boat. But I feel like the whole story is relegated to background characters. Like, nobody was really important unless you felt bad about the girl and the boy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there isn't a whole lot of story, and the same thing when we get to characters. So, oops, I'm trying to accidentally play Jaws' 50th anniversary trailer. So, all right, so let's get to our ratings for story then, because like I said, I don't know much more to say about story without delving more into the characters.
Right.
So I gave the storyline a 7. Like I said, I absolutely love this, but I think the beginning was really slow up until the first hour was up. When you think about it, also too, I'm not saying I don't like the story. The characters, obviously, and music emotions do equal up to the story as well. But I honestly feel like until you get on that boat, you could literally almost get rid of the first hour of the movie. You could maybe have like 15 minutes setting it up, and then the rest of it, then the boat. Yeah. And I think it would have brought the storyline to a 9. But then I would have been like, but there's no other characters. It's these 3. If you like getting to know the characters very well, then maybe it might be a 10. But for me, I did a 7 because it was just the town aspect. It's not that I didn't care about it. It was boring.
Right.
And the pacing was just very slow for me. So what about you? What did you think about the storyline for it?
I give it a 7 out of 10 as well, because I did feel like it was like intriguing and kept me like watching and whatnot, but I also feel like a lot of it is like a standard like shark hunt kind of thing that you could see on like any, you know.
And you're right. It felt like a basic movie.
Yeah, like all the stuff that they did was pretty basic until the end, I guess. But like the whole thing with like the end with the oxygen thing. I feel like they definitely, like, that could have been it. They could have just shoved that in his face, blew him up, and there you go.
Right, like, yeah, they could have taken care of this shark very easily.
But no, they almost freaking died. One dude did die. And
yep, one of the 3 did.
So it's like, damn.
And if you were to watch that second half of the movie and not have seen anything of it, you would have thought it was a documentary of them hunting.
Shark hunt.
Yeah. So I completely agree 100%. So, we're going to get into characters then next, and honestly, unlike before, where I normally look through the cast and whatnot, a lot of these actors, the older people who might listen to this might know them, but the younger people, I don't think they're going to care. Especially with the actors either being too old to act now or passed away, possibly. What I will say, though, to start with, we'll start with the town before we get to the sheriff, the fisherman, and the scientist, I guess. Because I am sure I think he was a scientist. I might get their names, though, because I Hopper or something. I don't know. Right. So, yeah. So the town itself was all right. Like I said, a lot of it was just to build the characters for you cared about the town, and I think they wanted you to feel like you could root for the town, because like you said, you see it more from the shark's perspective, and I think they were trying to humanize the town as to why they need to kill the shark. I think the kid was a big part of it.
Right.
But there's that, and honestly, it's not... I mean, I don't think the first half... And I hate to say it again, I don't think the first half really mattered about the characters because they all felt relegated to the background. Even the wife.
Yeah.
I'd say the only time anybody outside of the main three felt important was the mayor. Because you loved to hate him. At least I did.
Right.
The three main characters as you get on the boat. And then maybe the sons. Because one was the shark attack, and then the one kid was Mangum, and I thought that was cute. But that was still, like, one quick scene.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the characters themselves of the three that's important. We'll start with Martin Brody, who was the sheriff of the town. He's the one who tried to... I guess we're talking about the mayor, too. So we'll do him, then the mayor, because I think the mayor is at least an important part. So you had Martin Brody, who was the sheriff... who tried to shut down the town and basically kept getting denied. Then there was enough shark attacks, and he didn't want to go out in the water, but I don't think he wanted the fisherman hunter to do it himself.
Yeah.
I don't know if he didn't trust him or something. But otherwise, and I'm going to say this probably about all three of them, especially with them together, but I really like the sheriff enough. I think he was my third favorite character out of the three, personally. I do think that he worked well with the other two, but I feel like he felt the blandest out of the three.
Yeah, he definitely was. They had a lot more personality, I felt like.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that's your thoughts on basically Brody as well, as this he was trying to do the right thing, at least from, perspective of most people, and he just seemed like a action-orientated guy who did what he said or just did it without saying anything.
Yeah.
All right, so not a whole lot there. Now, the next one was the mayor. Okay, he did have a name. Mayor Larry Vaughn. I mean, the guy who played him seems like if you saw him in real life, he might be a good guy, just playing the role of this mayor.
Yeah.
But I absolutely hate the mayor. I get that he was trying to think of the town and its people. Because he did say it in one of the scenes. If we don't take out the shark people so that we can let people go and swim again and whatnot, are y'all going to want to be on welfare? I get that he cared enough. I do think he did feel bad finally with that final shark attack. But, I mean, there's not much about his character either other than the fact that I did love to hate him. And I think they did try to make him the villain because, obviously, I don't even think you see the shark, do you? Until, I think the first time you see him is on the boat when Martin goes up on that look and is like, I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah, he's throwing the bait at him and it hits the shark in the boat.
I think that's what peed him off. I think that's why the shark wouldn't leave him alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, the mayor was just somebody to focus to be evil because most movies feel like they have to have a villain or a foil. And for the most part, I don't think this movie needed a foil.
Yeah, I mean, the mayor, I didn't like him in certain aspects, but I didn't feel like I loved to hate him. I didn't feel like he was somebody that I really, really, really wanted to get punished or anything.
Right.
So I felt like he was just kind of neutral for me.
I don't know. I did for the most part. I just hated that he kept trying to get... I think the part that really made me hate him, though, or hate him, dislike him more, is they were at the beach, and he told his family, why aren't you swimming? I just put sunscreen on. And you darn well know that they didn't want to go in because of the shark.
Yeah, he did, but at the same time, I think he was also still thinking of the town and whatnot.
I agree with that.
He also was kind of having hopes that shark that they caught was the shark.
I mean, I think everybody was, except for Hooper. Because everybody was, even Brody was excited. That was about the most personality he got out of him before the boat.
Yeah. I don't know. He was kind of just neutral for me, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I maybe just didn't like how he was trying to force people out. I get that he was probably thinking of the town, but, although, to be fair, that family should have just had the father go by himself. Why the heck did you try to bring your whole family out? When he's like, you should go swimming. Come on, family. Let's go be snacks.
Yeah, and then everyone just freaking knocking the little kids off of their floaties.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Thank you. Oh my God. Humanity. We need to be nicer. You're right. Yeah. The adults were like throwing kids off of the rafts and pushing them aside and trampling them.
Instead of helping people out, sitting there trampling them all and knocking them off. And
wasn't one kid or guy drowning for a second? Didn't somebody like...
Yeah, an older man I thought was
it was like being pushed down
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, people.
Yeah, like I said, we're the villains. We always are, usually.
Usually. All right, so then after that, I think we were introduced first to the fisherman, which was Quint. I think he was introduced at the town meeting before we got to see Hooper. And he was there for like, what, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
But then once he got to the boat, I liked him more and more with each passing scene. Like, I feel like he just had a crap life, and that's why he acted the way he did. There was because he had a shark attack with when the nukes in Hiroshima or whatever went off their sub, and each day more and more is being, which explains why he was going after the sharks and hunting them.
Yeah, but you would think, like, just leave them the hell alone, right? Because, like, see, that's like me if I were in a shark attack or a tornado attack or something. I wouldn't be like, I'm going to get revenge on all these mother ever. I'd be like, I'm getting out of here and I'm avoiding what's going to freaking... Like, I survived it once. Why keep putting myself in the danger?
Yeah, they can't walk. They're not Jeff the land shark.
Because usually it eventually gets you. You see all those people that, you know, they're tornado watchers and stuff, and they eventually get taken out by the tornado. Yeah, you have close calls and stuff. Why would you keep going? I don't know. Yeah,
I know he was a fan favorite. I think he was my second favorite. I mean, it's kind of like love to hate the mayor. I grew to love Quint as it progressed. Because like I said, the three of them together, I think their chemistry is great.
Yeah, I just feel like when you have something to prove, you're more in danger.
True.
Because you put yourself in danger because you feel like, you know, like, I got to prove myself and I got to take all these people out or put myself in this situation again so I can prove myself the next time, you know?
Well, yeah, and not just that, but like when you get all three of them together on the boat, they're sitting there sharing their scars and literally...
Look at me!
Yeah, and literally you had Quint put his leg on top of Hooper's, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, some weird stuff there.
And then Hooper gets introduced, I think, a third into the hour of the town plot. Mm-hmm. And again, I think he's kind of relegated. I feel like he has the most personality in the town, so I do remember him a bit better. But it's still a background-ish, and he doesn't become important until after the boat.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do personally feel like I liked him. I think he was the best character of the movie besides Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a scientist with sharks. I think all three of them had issues. Quint was attacked by sharks from a boat. Something happened with Hooper on a boat.
Mm.
And I don't know why. I still don't know if they ever explained why Brody was afraid of water.
No, he had a scar that he was looking at, which almost looked like he was looking at his other thing. But he had a scar that he was like pulling out. I don't even think he talked about it.
No, he was laughing with them and they were singing.
He just looked at it and then it was just like, okay. So we're just under the impression he had an attack too, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I would say if they didn't get these three onto a boat by themselves for the last hour of the movie, I feel like even these main characters would have been more background characters. I feel like they didn't shine until there was no other actors.
Yeah, they shined when they were all three together. I agree with that.
Yeah. And then the final main character, which we can't forget, Jaws himself.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce the Shark. I'm going to let you start with that one. What did you think about Bruce the Shark and when he finally did show up, like at the last 30 minutes of the movie, probably?
Yeah, I love that shark. I mean, I love sharks in general. But I just loved him. I thought he looked amazing, and
Yeah, for 1970s. And,
yeah.
And I don't know if you know this. I know Steven Spielberg did a quick little thing at the beginning of the movie where he talked about it. The shark did give them so many problems. The mechanical shark had many problems, and it was really bad. They were lucky they got all the shots they were able to get. But yeah, no, I completely agree. That shark looks completely real.
Yeah, man. Could you imagine if that thing actually like took him out, like being a mechanical shark even?
If it acted up and then took Quint out by fakely chewing on him, but it actually does start chewing on him. Oh my God, that would have been horrible.
Some Five Nights at Freddy's stuff going on here.
Is that the bite? Wait. Is that the bite of 75? Wait, when did the movie come out? I guess it, wait, no, we're on the 50th anniversary, so it would be, is that the bite of 75 instead of 82, 87?
Yeah, for real. But I loved him. I thought he was great.
Yeah. So I think what we can come to a consensus on then is that almost no characters really mattered other than the three and the shark in the second half of the movie. They were there to get to learn, but you could have dumped most of it and we wouldn't have lost much.
Yeah. I liked the characters a lot.
Yeah, I did too. So, what was your rating on the characters then?
Mine was a 9 out of 10 because just for the simple fact of the three of them in general and the shark. I really liked that shark, and I thought that that they worked really well together. Their characters in general, like the types of people they were and whatnot, I think they all worked really well together. And I liked them enough, you know, like I enjoyed their characters a lot. So I felt like it was perfect that they put like the three, probably the three best characters.
Agreed.
Together in a boat for most of the, you know, one half of the movie at least.
Right.
At least a half of the movie.
I feel like it had to have been an hour. I really do.
So I really did like the characters.
All right. So see, you gave it a 9, and I technically I agree with your 9. I really do. But see, this is where mine differs. Because I had to give it a 7. Because I also had to think about the rest of the characters of the movie.
I didn't care about them people.
Exactly. I mean, okay. Let me be a little bit more fair. My bad. I cared about them enough from what they showed. They were important to getting the story to progress to where it was. But they were forgettable other than the mayor and I'd say the boy who got eaten, because Chrissy, I think, was her name, the girl at the beginning. I mean, she got eaten, and that's sad. We knew her for like a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too, but like the fact is like, if they took time into really putting character in these people, half the movies would be literally developing a bunch of people you don't give a crap about, though.
Yeah, but then they dumped everybody off in the second half just to have those three. And I'm like, that's fine, but you couldn't have at least I think there was one scene where, no, we didn't even hear the wife on the radio, did we? We just heard...
he tried to contact somebody, and he smashed it.
Yeah, and he smashed it. I feel like it was money constraints. I feel like they put a lot of money into the actors and then the shark. So I feel like the second...
Most of it, yeah.
I feel like the second half they had to do the three because they had a budget. But I still feel like they didn't have to put a lot of character development into it, but the fact that the rest of the characters of the movie were just so easily disposable.
Well, that's my one-off.
See, that was my 2. 1 was for the people of the town, and then 2 was for nobody else in the second half.
You got 3 of it. I thought you said 7.
You did 9, so it'd be 2. From you.
9 out of 10 would be 1 off for me, but I thought you
said 3
7.
off, but 2 off from you, is what I'm saying. But I guess you're...
Oh, you were comparing mine and yours.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I think 1 point definitely does get taken off for them being able to dump everybody. And then 2 for not at least bringing somebody over on the radio. Like, maybe have the mayor call him and be like, did you get the shark or something? Like, they didn't have to... But they literally dropped everybody. There were no more people after the first hour.
Well, it might be because he busted that thing up, though.
It could be. No, it definitely was, but...
They had no way. They're out in the middle of the damn ocean. He busted all the stuff up, and they just had nobody.
But honestly, the 7 that I give the movie is because of those 3 and the shark alone. Because they make the whole movie. And I just kind of wish that... I think I might have given it an 8 or a 9 if the first half would have been like 30 minutes instead of an hour.
See, I had to give it a 9 for the simple fact that the only reason I was kept intrigued was the characters.
I mean, I will agree.
That's the reason
three
it
main
got
characters,
so high. Is
yeah.
because of the characters. If the characters were crap, I wouldn't have been in.
Oh, yeah, no, yes, completely agreed. Like, if the 3 characters would have had bad chemistry together, or if they didn't work well, or they weren't good actors, because they were famous actors of their time, at least 2 of them. I don't know about Quinn.
Yeah, even a little something off.
Yeah.
And it would have been off. Like,
so that's why I got a 7. It's just I just felt bad that we had an hour movie that we just kind of just threw away, and they could have, because here's how I see how they could have done it. Maybe start off on the boat and give 30 minutes to the movie of doing slight little flashbacks of what led them there, going back to the town.
See, but I think that ends up being in the storyline, not the characters.
I mean, true. But I don't know. I just felt like because of the fact we only care about, I mean, I guess some movies you do only care about 1 or 2 characters. I don't know. What I will say is that I agree with your 9. The 3 characters made the movie. It's just, I wish more characters shined a little bit.
Bruce did shine.
He did shine a little bit. He glittered. Okay, so how about this? I wish they would have cut all the other characters down to 30 minutes. Because I didn't feel like we needed all that. I think you could have conveyed your message by cutting 30 minutes out of the movie. And it being the town, not the boat. I think the boat the whole time was needed.
Yeah, I like boat.
I do too. So we can at least agree on that aspect. So music and sound effects. Now, I mean, I guess there were some okay sound effects for when there was in the town, but I think where the movie shined the best. I mean, first it had good music all around, and or instrumental music. I think that was due to I forgot his name now, but he's a very famous composer. Harry Gregson?
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find here. But John Williams, because he also did music for Metal Gear. And Metal Gear has beautiful music. So I think the music, all the instrumental pieces were good in it. But I think in the second half, I think the sound effects they used for the shark, the boat, the land, or the ambiance of the ocean and whatnot, I think that really brings up the quality, because you felt like you were really there with the sound effects, and the music really portrayed whatever emotion was going on. And I feel like that's because John is such a great composer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt like, a lot of the sound effects were like just repetition, because it's like Michael Myers, It's like the do.
Oh yeah, Bruce's theme.
Yeah, that's the sound of him coming like Michael Myers, obviously. So I felt like that was like almost the only sound effect I even really remembered from the whole thing, besides like when the jump scare underneath or whatever with that body floating out that got me.
Yeah, I know, it got you and then you got me. I don't normally jump at anything, but no.
Well, I looked away for a second. I looked away, looked back, and all of a sudden, boom, and then he's like there, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, I felt your shoulder like twitch of mine, and it just freaked me out. I was like, what?
I know, yeah. But I mean, the sound effects, they were really good. I just felt like there was, some things that were missing, but like I don't know what songs came out when and whatnot, but I felt like there could have been like a nice little, music or something for like when they're at the beach or something.
Right.
Like the first thing I thought of was the Beach Boys, like something of the Beach Boys.
Oh yeah, everybody surfing, yeah.
Something like to go like with the feel of it to make it like stand out more and stuff.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think they were trying to use the music to be more emotional and let the characters do their acting, which like we've talked about, the first half the characters were all dull. Even the 3 of them were.
Yeah, I just feel like they miss a lot of the music aspect, and especially in horror movies, I feel like they could really have more done with the music.
Now that's a good question. Would you really count this as a horror movie? I mean, back in its time, probably sure, but I feel like it's definitely more of a thriller nowadays.
I don't even see it as that. I see it like a documentary of shark.
I could
like,
see that too.
I could literally, like, it just looks like they're hunting down a shark. To me, it's like sharks. Watching sharks to me is not scary.
No, agreed.
That's why for me it isn't a horror. Maybe somebody who's afraid of sharks or the
Yeah,
water,
or back then.
or something, or back then, sure. I mean, I think even if I was back then, I probably still wouldn't count it as horror because I
Knowing
wouldn't
you,
have been
probably
scared.
not.
I wouldn't have been scared of it. I like sharks.
Right.
I stay out of the friggin' ocean. I don't like sharks, but I know there's like, there's stuff in the ocean.
Right.
Like, and I don't want to be any a part of it.
Well, and I know I did score higher for the music. But I will kind of, because what I remember, of course I remember the Jaws theme, that's very important. I remember when the shark is beating into the boat, you hear the cracks and you feel the pounding. There's the water filling up inside the boat.
Yeah.
You got the ambiance of the ocean around you, the night, the storm, because I think there was a storm the first night or something. Like, the sound effects that they use, like, I know you're right that the music could have done a bit better, but I also know that, like, I loved the second half, and I will say this right now, second half of the movie is the best part of the movie, like, everything, and I think the sound effects and the music still worked way better there than in the town. I think if anything, they needed to put music, like you were saying, because the 70s, not as great as the 80s for music, but they still had some good hits, and they could have put a few in there in the town, or at least once you defeated Bruce, you could have had even though the credits were like a minute or something, you could have had a song playing, maybe a nice somber one to try to relay that it's all over. And
yeah, there's a lot of like them singing and stuff though.
Oh yeah, so there was a little bit of music. It was, I'm pretty sure it was, I don't want to say pirate shanties, but I think it was shanties in general.
Yeah, it sounded like some sort of.
And I will agree, though, that they were having fun. I loved listening to them sing. They might have been the greatest singers, but it made me smile listening to them and watching them smile about it themselves. So, yeah, that's another reason why mine is going to be higher than yours. But, like, I was so invested because of the sounds as well for that whole boat scene, because the music itself was kind of lacking besides instrumental. And like I said, John is an amazing composer.
Yeah, but I think they do classify Jaws as a horror movie.
I think. Let me check while you're talking.
I take it as a horror movie, and so I take it as does this movie, like, the sound effects, like, fully, like, go with how it is and whatnot.
So, no, they classify it as a thriller adventure.
So it's a thriller.
So it is a thriller. So, I mean, I was right from that part, but I do agree with you, though. I feel like because the da-da, that gets your heart pounding and racing. Or at least it's supposed to.
Unless
back
for me,
then,
I just
definitely.
Get excited. I'm like, the shark's coming.
Well, I mean, there's that too. You're like, yes. So, I mean, I could see it being a thriller, but I do agree with you. Because I told you the story about my mom. That one's just hilarious. Yeah. So, I mean, especially back then, I think, I don't remember if they said it in Jaws 1 trailer or 2. But I think it's Jaws 2 trailer where they're like, Jaws 1 something, and now you don't want to go in the water. Well, now he's back. Like, they kind of feel like you're going to have a phobia of water.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I know I'm going to rate it a little bit higher. So, what did you rate yours for the music and sound effects then, and why?
I rated it a 7 out of 10 because when I rate them higher, I usually I want to be blown away by the sound effects, and I didn't feel like there was enough of them to really be blown away. Like, I do, you expect like the crunching of the bone, all that stuff. I feel like that's kind of standard stuff, though. I feel like there needs to be like more sound effects with like everything. I didn't feel like. Cause the shark was eating him, but I didn't hear like real like big crunching noises.
No, I think for that one it was the instrumental music that was supposed to make you feel bad that he was dying. Yeah,
and see, I didn't feel like I felt like there was no like crunching like to be like, oh damn, he's being like just slaughtered. You know what I mean? Like I was just like looking at him just getting eaten, and And so there was instrumental there or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was some boat crunching and whatnot, but I didn't feel like it was anything that was to blow me away or anything. I feel like they were all very standard sounds for the most part, besides the theme, like I said.
Right.
That was the only sound, plus that dude.
Well, and plus the theme is like infamous. You know, I remember taking a music class. I had to. It was like middle school, and that's one of the first things they teach you is the Jaws thing because it's 2 notes.
Yeah, it's a fairly easy one too. On top of it, but like, I do like what they did for it, which is one reason why it got as high of a rating, because I do like that they did the do 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 do, and when it gets closer, it gets faster or whatever. I do like that, and I like the, you know, obviously some of the crunching noises and whatnot, and instrumental, and that dude popping out of the boat at the bottom or whatever stood out. But I didn't feel like it was anything like spectacular. You know what I mean?
So yeah, for me, I gave it a 9. So again, I gave it 2 points more than you. And for me, because of the fact that the music wasn't that there, again, not saying that the music that was there wasn't emotional, powerful when it needed to be, but because of the fact that you were literally, and we talked about it, that like the boat, you could have tuned in and you thought it was an actual documentary. Because of the fact that it was just them on the boat the whole time, those sound effects became so much more important. Them talking to one another, which I guess you could technically count as character, but also sound because us talking is still a sound.
I guess, but I don't really count them as sound effects.
No, I don't either, but I'm just putting it out there.
The effects are usually things they add into it to give.
But see, I did feel like I was actually there. Maybe because we were actually in a theater with all the sound effects going on and they were a little bit more louder. But for a movie theater, I think the sound effects played the more important part for me enjoying the whole boat scene. And so for me, the point off that it doesn't get could have been because I felt something was missing, and I think you hit the nail that there was like no actual song. They could have at least played one song at the beach. You're right. It could have been somebody had a radio on. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I think they had radios that were battery operated. They had walkie-talkies.
Yeah, even one song could have done something, man.
So I feel like something was missing there. I do agree. And that might have been like half a point off. Maybe a point. I'm not sure. But if there were to be another 0.5 for me to be taken off, it is the fact that the music is strong and powerful, like I said, when it's needed, but it's just stuff is still missing. It's just, it also dragged me in more because it felt like I was more there. And so you had to focus more on the sound effects instead of the music.
Well, yeah. Well, and the thing is like they didn't even get on the boat until like the second half. So the first whole half of the movie was like missing sound effects for the most part.
Yeah, because the first half, even with little sound effects they had,
it wasn't much at all.
Yeah, it was background character as well.
Somebody screaming, maybe.
Yeah, the screaming.
And that was literally like it for the whole first half of the movie.
Yeah.
And then the second half, like I said, was all like standard sounds.
Like I said, and I'll say, I said it once, I said it twice, I'll probably say it one more time in emotions. I think either get rid of the whole first half of the movie or relegate it to flashbacks of the most important parts of why they got on the boat.
Yeah, they didn't need as much as they had, I think. I felt like they definitely could have like tried to sum it all up or whatever, like go quickly through things or whatever.
I mean, and it wouldn't be the first time they did a movie like that either. Do you remember the movie Buried?
I don't even know if I've seen that.
So there's a movie called Buried. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't, but it's a movie with Ryan Reynolds in it, and he's buried in a box.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, so I won't spoil it. But basically, what I will say is the whole movie takes place in one scene.
Oh.
You still have I think he gets a phone, or he has a phone, and so he's able to talk to other people, but it's just always focused on him and the scene.
Oh, wow. See, like, that reminds me of, like, when I first saw the movie Saw. He was, like, in the room the whole entire time.
Mostly. For that one, it was, like, 60% in the room, or maybe 80, but then there was a few outside, but yeah, no, agreed.
Damn, they're just in a room the whole time.
And I think why for that one, too, was because the budget restraints as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Buried movie, I gotta make sure this is the one with Ryan Reynolds. Okay, so on that one, for him being in one scene, They gave it an 87. So, I mean, you can make one... I mean, and the boat, you had the outside, the inside. You had more than just the... Literally, I don't think it ever changed perspective.
Yeah.
And they made it work to get an 87, although Ryan Reynolds is a good actor and he can make a lot of things work. But you get my point, though. They could have done the whole boat scene, and I don't think the movie would have honestly lost many points, if any at all. I think it would have actually brought the points up just a little bit. Maybe a 0.5, maybe a point.
Yeah, I don't think it needed to be 2 hours and 10 minutes, or if it did, they need to make more boat scene and stuff.
And at worst, it was like 2 hours and 5 minutes. Because the credits, again, this is a movie that literally is like, here's like our actors, here's the director, we're done.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to emotions last. And I don't really know what to say about the emotions, really, especially since we talked about a lot of it throughout most of the movie, or the review. So I'm going to actually let you start with your thoughts on the emotions throughout the movie from start to end, middle, whatnot, of what you thought about the movie with its emotions.
Well,
It's hard, isn't it?
Most of it, I just saw as, like, humor. I just thought it as funny. So it's, like, really weird because, like, I know a lot of other people probably wouldn't be feeling the same way.
Right, especially back then again.
Yeah, like, a lot of people would be like, oh, no, hell no, I ain't going to no water, you know what I mean? Like, freaking out, whatever. And for the most part, like, the emotions I got were, like, my emotions were more on the whole, like, you know, rip the boat apart kind of thing, like, tear them up. But, I know, like, for any standard person, they probably would have, like, it would have actually been, like, really terrifying, especially if they're afraid of the water and, sharks in general or something.
Right.
Being torn apart.
I'm going to say again that I'm going to forget just about the whole town. I really don't care about it. I think I see where you're going with it, and it does give me a little thought. With the emotions, it's the fact that, and yes, it kind of goes into characters again, but I love the emotions between the three guys. And also the emotions of, you know, when they're being attacked, when he's in the steel cage, like those type of like anything going on with them, even if the emotions wasn't, I felt emotions through the boat scene more than anything.
Yeah, I felt like they were all becoming like a little buddy type of, like, you know, like a trio type thing, and that was probably why it was higher than it might have been otherwise.
Right.
Those three were the only ones that probably, them and the shark itself was probably the only reason.
Well, yeah, because when Hoop comes back up at the end, he's like, Quinn? No.
Well, because those people got attacked, and it was like, and ain't nobody even really cared. That one dude, like, the chick at the beginning or whatever, that chick died. And, like, it was like nobody even gave a crap.
Oh, yeah, we're going to shut down nobody told me about this. It's only going to be for 24 hours. And they all looked sad until he said 24 hours.
And wasn't that one guy that freaking, like... Wasn't the one guy that was, like, drunk or whatever, passed out, and they were about to chase her in there? Wasn't he just like, she must have drowned or something?
Yeah, and
like,
then they said it was a boat incident. Well, and then what was it? The kid got eaten, and they were kind of making jokes or something, weren't they?
Yeah, nobody was, like, even the mother... Even the supposed mother that was supposed to be playing her, I didn't feel emotions. Like, I felt like she was trying her best to portray emotions. Right,
which is why the slap, I think, was put in there, because I bet you she couldn't feel it, and she's like, can I just slap him?
But I didn't feel the loss of a kid in her.
No.
I did not feel like somebody who had just lost their son would have felt. I would have been pissed. I would have been upset. Why did this happen? I would have been freaking the hell out. And she seemed like she was trying her best to portray that, but I don't feel like it.
Right, she wasn't able to. And
I didn't feel it.
I don't think I felt the mayor give a shit either. I didn't mean to say that one, but it does pop out every now and then. I don't feel like the mayor cared or portrayed the emotion until maybe right before they got on the boat.
Like,
and I still don't know if he felt
bad. In there or something. Like, my kids were at the beach too or whatever.
Yeah.
Or something. But it's like, I never felt like all these people were dying and just about dying, and I didn't feel nothing.
Nope. I'd say the only time I cared about their emotions was the three main characters. I had emotions toward them. I loved their emotions, and the shark.
Yeah, that was it. That's why. That's literally why. Like,
Yeah.
all the rest of it was just like not even there. Like,
Yeah, and again, that's why I said for the most part, you could have literally just got rid of the whole first hour or made it an extra hour of them on the boat, and I think it would have probably scored, at least mine would have at least scored maybe one more point more.
Like, those three were like the only ones that I even cared about dying to the
Right.
shark. Like, they were the only ones I would have even cared even the smallest bit about.
I mean, I was sorry that Quinn died. I would have been devastated if Hooper would have died, but that's because he was my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I still would have felt bad if the sheriff would have died too, because he's got a family. I don't think Quinn did, or Quint, but...
We at least knew that dude had a family and stuff, so I would have been at least attached to that idea.
Yeah.
And attached to... I did like Hooper a lot, too. He was probably one of my favorites as well. But, like, I like, everyone else was just, like, so background that you wouldn't even gave
Agreed. It felt like they knew exactly where they were going with the movie, and just everything up to that point, it felt like it wasn't hitting its mark, because I think their plan was always just to
go to those three.
Go to those three on the boat. Okay, so what did you give the emotion for yours? Because I think ours were either on par or 1 point difference.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
And yeah, for all those, I'm not going to ask you why, because we've literally been talking about the boat being the most important. I think at this point everybody gets the point that everything after the first hour is amazing. Everything before it's okay.
Yeah, standable.
Yeah. And I gave it an 8. And again, I think for mine, it was them and the shark, and, you know, are they going to die at certain moments? Like, was Hooper going to die in the cage? Oh my God, Quint is falling into the shark. Is he going to make it? Like, oh my God, is he gonna shoot the oxygen tank and kill the shark, or is the shark actually going to win?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And that whole shark cage thing's supposed to be shark proof.
That
thing just busted right on through. But
I think it was supposed to be, but that was a great white who was like 15 feet, I think is what they ended on for Quinn. Said that it was 15, because I think Hooper said it was 10 or 12, and he's like, no, my boy, that's 15.
I don't know, something like that.
So it could be why the cage didn't last.
Yeah, it was done.
But, I mean, for the most part, though, as a whole, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I get why the first half's there. At least, if you ever watch this movie and you haven't watched it, watch the first hour once, and then anytime you want to come back to the movie, unless you're really invested from start to finish, just start it up at the boat.
Right.
And I think that's really what it comes down to. So, I have decided, though, off topic for a second, that we need to watch Buried and review it. I think you will really find it interesting. I'm going to show you a trailer after, and you'll get a vibe of, you know. But, so altogether then, yours was a 75, and mine scored 77.5. So I think we're both in agreement of just jumping your 75 up to a C+, and giving the movie a C+.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Just combine our two scores together, probably makes it a 76.
Yeah.
So we gave it a 76. Good movie, great movie, one of the best of all time, a top 100, I think. And I can see why. I mean, even the first hour is still bearable. It's not like, you know, I went into the movie knowing what the first hour was going to be. I forgot that it was that tedious, but I still enjoyed watching the first half, because it led into the best part of the movie, which is the whole second hour. But I'm going to say, because we had 7 people in our theater.
Something like that, yeah.
And you heard some people get some good laughs out of the scene, and it was mostly during the boat scene.
Yeah.
Somewhere along that hour. But I think everybody in that theater might have been older than even me.
Yeah, maybe around same.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't catch it in theaters back in the day, and they're like, oh, this would be an awesome movie to finally see. Because I talked about Back to the Future. I would love to see, because I never got to see that, because obviously it was, you know, released the day I was born, or the year I was born. Goo goo gaga, I remember nothing.
Right, yeah.
So I mean, I could see why people went in to see it. I've got to say, I wouldn't recommend seeing it, though, probably in theaters, unless you want that movie-going experience, especially the younger generation. I feel like this is something Netflix or at home where you could stop it and watch it like most people do nowadays, or just have it in as background music and pay attention when, again, the second half starts.
Yeah, like, the only reason I could see people going to see it now is for the nostalgia.
Mm-hmm. Or if they didn't see it and they love sharks, maybe.
Yeah, that's my reason. That was my reason for even seeing it.
I was going to ask that actually next before we ended it. So
I like sharks, yeah.
Yeah, and you did mention that. So honestly, any final thoughts with the movie at all besides what we talked about? Or do you think we covered everything?
I think it's basically covered.
That's what I'm thinking too. I think pretty good. I liked it. So again, it got a C+, and I know most people are rating it in the 90s, and that's fine. Again, I don't disagree. If I were more of a cinephile, I think is what they're called, or a person who picked apart movies and enjoyed even the more boring stuff, and I do enjoy the boring stuff. But again, it just maybe because it's an older movie too.
I mean, maybe if I was born back in the day, but I was born around all the stuff that was like all the new stuff and all the great, amazing sound effects and all, like there's just so much more that they've added.
Well, and I've grown up into it myself, so I have the same reasoning. It's like some movies, like the original Friday the 13th. I know it is a masterpiece according to people. It's one of the most high-rated movies, and it's got a great twist and whatnot. But compared to the rest of the Jason movies, it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's going to feel their own certain way and favor something over the other type of thing, like the story over the sound effects or the story over the characters, whatnot. Yeah,
so I mean, I guess that's our final thoughts right there. More of a rental. Well, not a rental at this point. It's been out for 50 years. But unless they're going to re-release this on Blu-ray or 4K, which I feel like they probably will. So, that's where we'll leave it. So, I don't remember what movie we're seeing next. We might review Buried at some point, but we'll go ahead and leave it here. So until next time, remember, keep watching movies, keep enjoying them. And for the love of God, stay out of the water when there's a shark attack.